call this meeting to order. For the approval of the agenda, moved by Councillor Willens, seconded by Councillor Gibson, the agenda for the special council meeting of December 17th, 2014 be approved as printed and circulated. All those in favor? That's carried. Are there any declarations of interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk. And I'm going to throw over the next item to Chief Executive Officer John Corbett.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I actually appreciate a few minutes of your time, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. I would like actually to take this opportunity to recognize a very special staff member who recently reemphasized his ongoing dedication and professionalism with his work here at the City of Brampton. Peter Fay, I'm speaking about you, Peter. You have worked relentlessly to bring us successfully through an election as a big city, and we really appreciate all the work you've done for us. I'm not done that. You have provided leadership in a transition period that has been, challenging but successful, and we also welcome you for all the work you've done for that, and thank you for it. And you continue to steer us through the formation as a model municipal organization through our recent workshop over the last 2 days and today's decision-making agenda. You are a valued employee who continues to show unyielding dedication and service to this corporation in a very unassuming style that we've all grown to appreciate as you've spent your career here in the City of Brampton. So I wish to present you with a very small but significant token of our appreciation, and I ask council and staff members of the public to show your appreciation for all your hard work and dedication.
Yes. Mayor Jeffrey, members of council, CAO Corbett, and ELT. Wow, thank you. Very unexpected. And I will just say that the accomplishments that the clerk's office does are because of the people in the clerk's office, and it's not one individual. So everybody plays their part, and I think we have a great team here, and we contribute to a great city. So I'll say thank you for that. And the clerk is to be seen and not heard, so I'll be quiet.
Well, thank you, Mr. Fay. I think all of us appreciate how quickly you turned around the workshop recommendations, and it was a very fast turnaround, so I certainly appreciate the effort that went in and the long hours of your team and you. Thank you. Okay. Any delegations with regards to C1, which is the possible amendments to the procedure bylaw 160-20 as amended as discussed at the council workshop held on December 15th and 16th, 2014. See no delegations. Move that. So we're at the reports and business arising from the December 15th, 16th council workshop. This is the first issue, D1. Okay. So the motion D1, which relates to the committee structure and meeting procedure recommendations, moved by Councillor Willens, seconded by Pat Fortini. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? That's carried. D2, matters arising from the council workshop held on December 15th and 16th. This is moved by Councillor Bowman. Thank you. And Councillor Willens. Recommendations set out in agenda item D1 be amended, and it's to do with the standing committees, the functional and ad hoc committees, the citizen-based advisory committees, the council meeting procedures, council local boards, council meeting procedures, council compensation, strategic plan, the mayor's office. I think that is the scope of it. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? That's carried.
Mayor Jeffrey, the next item on the agenda then, after the committee structure has been established, would be making the appointments to the committee. So in the attachment to the report that was just distributed to members of council, there is a summary of member appointment preferences. And there are a number of, first of all, thanks very much to all the members for their submissions of their appointment preferences over the course of the workshop. There are a few areas where there are either no members have identified their interest in being appointed to a committee or an external agency, or there are more than the required number of members, so we have to resolve those today. So perhaps what I can do is I can walk through the table as it currently exists and ask members that have put their name forward if there is more than enough, if they still want to put their name forward, and if necessary, then we would have to have a vote on who that appointment would be. And then I'll ask for nominees for those appointments where there is no member.
Mr. Fay, just before we begin that, can I ask, on the last item that we dealt with D2, there was a specific item with regards to the Auditor General.
Yes.
That was part of that last motion. Is there a way at this point to separate it so we can vote on it separately?
Yes.
Can I ask that we do that?
Yeah.
Can we do that at this point?
Yes. Yeah.
So this is the item, Council, on D2, just so we can have a separate item, and that this is with regards to the engagement of the Auditor General. So I believe it's on...
Through you, Mayor Jeffrey, it is on the item D2, which was just distributed, and it's in the Appendix 1, and it's recommendations 20, 21, and 22.
Okay. Would it be helpful if I read it? So I'll just read it out. Whereas Sections 5, 8, 9, and 11 of the Municipal Act 2001 authorize the Council to pass bylaws necessary or desirable for municipal purposes, and in particular, paragraph 2 of subsection 11-2 authorizes bylaws respecting the accountability and transparency of the municipality and its operations, and whereas Section 223-19, bracket 1 of the Municipal Act 2001 authorizes the municipality to appoint an Auditor General who reports to Council excuse me, and is responsible for assisting Council in holding itself and its administrators accountable for the quality of stewardship over public funds and for the achievement of value for money in municipal operations, and whereas Section 223-19(2) of the Municipal Act 2001 provides that the responsibilities of the Auditor General shall not include matters described in Section 296, bracket 1, bracket A, and bracket B, for which the municipal auditor is responsible. Therefore, be it resolved that a bylaw be enacted to appoint Mr. Jim McCarter, former Auditor General for the Province of Ontario, as an Auditor General on an interim basis to review the city's finances in order to provide a high-level overview of the city's fiscal state with some general indication as to whether the fiscal state of the city has changed and the nature of any changes for approximately the last 5 years as a baseline for the new term of council. That the budget for this engagement of an auditor be sourced from the approved account in the Chief Administrator's office at an estimated cost of $55,000 to $60,000, including any fees for the assistance of an experienced chartered accountant. That the terms of reference for the interim auditor engagement be approved, as in the chart. And I think that summation is it. And Mr. Clerk, I'd like a recorded vote on this.
A recorded vote has been requested on recommendations 20, 21, and 22 of item D2. All in favor, please stand to be counted. Showing in favor of the motion is Councillor Gibson, Councillor Miles, Councillor Fortini, Councillor Bowman, Councillor Medeiros, Mayor Jeffrey, Councillor Dillon, Councillor Sprovieri, Councillor Paleshi, Councillor Willens, Councillor Moore. Madam Mayor, that carries unanimously,
Thank you very
11 to
much.
0.
Thank you. And we can return to the committee. You were going to go through that?
Yes. Yes. So on agenda item D2, the appendix, which is labeled Appendix 5, because in reference to the item D1, there is a chart that summarizes all the member appointment preferences, and it starts on page D2-14, and it reflects the new committee structure which Council has just approved. So I will go through and I will identify those areas where there's either no member nominated or there's too many members nominated, so Council can resolve that. And then at the end of this process, there will be one comprehensive motion moved to appoint the members to the various committees and various roles. So starting with the standing committees, Community and Public Services Committee, There are 2 vice chairs identified for the Recreation and Culture responsibilities of that committee, Councillor Dillon and Councillor Willens, and only 1 vice chair is required. Are there any other nominations, or do any of the nominated members wish to withdraw a nomination? Oh, someone on the board. Councillor Willens?
Yeah, I will withdraw my name from that.
Thank you. So Councillor Dillon will be in the motion for the Vice Chair for the Recreation and Culture. The next position is Fire Services Vice Chair under Community and Public Services Standing Committee. There are 2 Vice Chair nominees, Councillor Bowman and Councillor Paleshi. Councillor Bowman?
I will remove my name from that committee.
Thank you. Councillor Paleshi will be the proposed Vice Chair. We now move to the Planning and Infrastructure Services Committee. As Vice Chair of Planning, there are 2 nominees, Councillor Fortini and Councillor Paleshi. Do any other members wish to be nominated for that position, or do either of the 2 nominees wish to withdraw from the position? Seeing none, I will now ask Council, through the Mayor, to take a vote on the Vice Chair for Planning under the Planning and Infrastructure Services Committee. We will take it alphabetically, so all those in favor of Councillor Fortini, please stand to be counted so the clerk can count, please. Showing in favor is Councillor Miles, Councillor Fortini, Councillor Bowman, Mayor Jeffrey, Councillor Dillon. Then the remainder would be opposed. So all in favor of Councillor Paleshi, please stand to be counted. Showing in favor of Councillor Paleshi is Councillor Gibson, Councillor Medeiros, Councillor Sprovieri, Councillor Paleshi, Councillor Willens, and Councillor Moore. Did you vote? She voted first? I didn't read her. Okay. So Councillor Moore, so my apologies, I didn't see you when you stood. So you stood in favor of Councillor Fortini? Okay. So as a result of the vote, Councillor Fortini will be the nominee for planning, as he has 6 votes to 5 votes. The next standing committee is the Economic Development Standing Committee. There are 2 nominees for chair, Councillor Bowman and Councillor Miles. Only 1 chair is required. Are there any other nominees, or do either candidates wish to remove their name from the nomination? Seeing none, I will call for a vote. So alphabetically, all in favor of Councillor Bowman as chair, please stand to be counted. Showing in favor of Councillor Bowman is Councillor Gibson, Councillor Bowman, Councillor Medeiros, Mayor Jeffrey, Councillor Dillon, Councillor Sprovieri, Councillor Paleshi, Councillor Willens, and Councillor Moore. All in favor of Councillor Miles, please stand to be counted. Showing in favor of Councillor Miles is Councillor Miles and Councillor Fortini. Councillor Bowman is the nominee by 9-2. Yeah. Thank you. The next is the Member Services Committee. There are a minimum of 5 members of council. 4 members of council have put their name forward for nominee to be appointed to this committee: Councillor Bowman, Councillor Gibson, Councillor Moore, and Councillor Paleshi. Are there any other members that wish to be added to this committee? Seeing Councillor Gibson? Through you, Madam Mayor, yes, that would be the next. Yeah. So the final motion on the appointments will have an amendment to reduce the Member Services Committee to 4 members. The next matter is on page D2-16, which is the Cycling Advisory Committee. 1 member of council is required for that committee, that new advisory committee. No members to this point have put their name forward. Are there any nominees for this committee appointment? Councillor Bowman?
Yes,
Councillor Willens also.
Councillor Willens, you're putting your name forward?
I'll withdraw.
So the nominee will be Councillor Bowman. We now move on to the Brampton Downtown Development Corporation Transition Committee. There are a maximum of 6 members representing the central area, including 3 council representatives for the BDDC. I will skip over that appointment because one of the determining factors are which members of council are appointed to the BDDC. So I'll come back to that one. We'll now move on to the Brampton Library Board on page D2-17. There are 2 members of council required for the Brampton Library Board. No members have put their name forward at this point. Are there any nominees for this appointment?
Can the mayor sit on it?
I believe there are no restrictions.
Well, you got
It's
2
a member of
people now.
council.
Ken Willens. Doug and Michael. Bless you.
Councillor Willens, are you accepting a nomination?
Yeah, is there 2 members?
Yes, and
Yes.
Councillor Palesci?
Yes.
Thank you. So those will be the 2 nominees. The next committee is the Brampton Downtown Development Corporation. There are 3 members of council to be appointed to that board. 4 members of council have put their names forward: Councillor Bowman, Councillor Gibson, Councillor Miles, and Councillor Moore. Do any of the members wish to withdraw their nomination, or do any other members wish to add their name to the nomination? Seeing none, we will take a vote. And the vote will be, every member only gets 1 vote. So I'll be calling out the names in alphabetical order by surname. So all in favor of Councillor Bowman, please stand to be counted. Through you, Madam Chair,
So can we just have some clarity?
Yes.
You have to have how many people on it? You need 3 people on it? Or?
so there is a voting process that was set out in Appendix, I believe, 7 or 8 of item D1 when this report was distributed on Monday. And the appointment process, in case there were multiple nominees, was similar to the process that was followed for the regional councillor appointment, with the exception that there would not be multiple voting. So the voting would be 1 vote per round, and at the end, if there are 3 nominees, the person that has the fewest number of votes would be dropped, and then the voting would occur again with the 2 remaining nominees.
Okay. Mr. Clerk, can we add a motion to add 4? Is that a possibility? Since we've just agreed on member services, we'll limit the numbers?
Through you, I may have
Is
to
that-
defer to
It's
the chief,
legislative, isn't
yes,
it?
because of the
It's
corporate
legislative.
letters. Yes.
Okay.
I will be calling out all names in alphabetical order, but members will only get 1 vote. Okay? So the first, all in favor of Councillor Bowman, please stand to be counted. Showing in favor of Councillor Bowman is Councillor Bowman, Councillor Medeiros, Councillor Dillon, and Councillor Willens. And so my apologies, Councillor Sprovieri. All in favor of Councillor Gibson, please stand to be counted. Showing in favor of Councillor Gibson is Councillor Gibson and Councillor Palesci. All in favor of Councillor Miles, please stand to be counted. Showing in favor of Councillor Miles is Councillor Miles and Councillor Fortini. All in favor of Councillor Moore, please stand to be counted. Showing in favor of Councillor Moore is Councillor Moore.
I don't think I understand the system well enough here. Can we just have some clarification about how that vote went? You can vote 1 time.
The rules.
So you can vote, we need 3 candidates for this committee, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
So there are 4 candidates for 3 positions.
Okay.
So as set out in the page D1 dash
So you can stand up 3
86?
times.
no.
In theory, you can stand up 3 times, not 4 times. I think that's what the confusion is.
If council wishes to
vote every...
process, then
I think
That's the
that
will
would-
of council.
I think it would be easier if this, for me to understand. So can we try that vote again for each candidate? Would that, is that the will of council, so there's some more clarity? I think we have some consensus around the table that we could do it that way. Okay, all right.
So
You
through
can only have
you,
3 candidates.
yes,
So
through
you
you,
get 3
Mayor,
choices.
Mayor Jeffrey, council has just amended their voting procedure for the purpose of this vote, such that every member will get 1 less than the number of candidates that are standing for the appointment.
Is that
So,
clear?
as I will call out each name again, that means there are 4 candidates, so every member of council will get up to 3 votes. Okay? So, the first candidate is Councillor Bowman. All in favor of Councillor Bowman, please stand to be counted. Showing in favor of Councillor Bowman is Councillor Gibson, Councillor Fortini, Councillor Bowman, Councillor Medeiros, Mayor Jeffrey, Councillor Dillon, Councillor Sprovieri, Councillor Willens, and Councillor Moore. All in favor of Councillor Gibson, please stand to be counted. Showing in favor of Councillor Gibson is Councillor Gibson, Councillor Miles, Councillor Bowman, Mayor Jeffrey, Councillor Dillon, Councillor Sprovieri, Councillor Paleschi, Councillor Willens, and Councillor Moore. All in favor of Councillor Miles, please stand to be counted. Showing in favor of Councillor Miles is Councillor Miles, Councillor Fortini, Councillor Medeiros, Councillor Dillon, Councillor Paleschi. All in favor of Councillor Moore, please stand to be counted. Showing in favor of Councillor Moore is Councillor Gibson, Councillor Fortini, Councillor Bowman, Councillor Medeiros, Mayor Jeffrey, Councillor Sprovieri, Councillor Paleschi, Councillor Willens, and Councillor Moore. So through you, Mayor Jeffrey, 3 candidates received 9 votes, 1 candidate received 5. So candidate that received 5 votes will be dropped from the ballot. Therefore, and that is Councillor Miles, so the nominees going forward will be Councillor Bowman, Councillor Gibson, and Councillor Moore. The next committee is the Citizen Awards Committee. It requires 3 members of council, including 1 as chair. For the position of chair, 2 members of council have put their name forward, Councillor Miles, Councillor Moore, and 1 member of council, Councillor Dillon, has put his name forward as a member. Councillor Miles is withdrawing. And Councillor Miles, you're withdrawing completely from the nomination or just to be a member and not the chair? Because the committee is looking for 3 members of council. Okay. So the nominees will be Councillor Moore as chair, Councillor Dillon, and Councillor Miles as members.
Clarification. Peter, when I wanted to be a chair, but it's listed as a member.
So are you changing your nominee so you
Yeah,
wish to run for chair?
That's right.
Okay. So now we have 2 nominees for chair, Councillor Moore and Councillor Dillon.
So
Are
I
there-
have some other people on the screen. Did you want to speak, Grant? Councillor Moore, did you want to speak?
Yes, I was going to withdraw my name under the chair.
And Councillor Moore, are you just withdrawing as chair and you would still like to be a member of the committee?
Yeah, I'll stay on the committee.
Thank you. So the nominees
So-
going forward will be Councillor Dillon as chair, and the members will be Councillor Moore and Councillor Miles. I will go back now to the the Brampton Downtown Development Corporation Transition Committee, which is on page D2-16. Since the members for the BDDC the nominees have been determined as Councillor Bowman, Councillor Gibson, and Councillor Moore. And the requirement for this committee is that it includes 6 members of council, including representing the central area. And the central area is defined to include wards 1, 5, 3, 4, and 7 and 8, including 3 council representatives from the BDDC Board of Directors. There are 7 members that have put their names forward. All members are within the definition of the central area, save and except for Councillor Willens. Councillor Willens?
I'll withdraw.
Thank you. So that committee is resolved. The next item is the Brampton Senior Citizens Council. And there was originally one member of council requested for this committee. 4 members of council have put their name forward. In keeping with the practice from the previous term of council, when multiple councillors put their name forward, council passed a resolution to request the Brampton Seniors Council to increase its representation so all members could sit. So with the consensus of council, that same motion could be passed when these appointments are confirmed in one omnibus resolution. Unless additional members wish to add their name or members wish to remove their name as a nominee. Councillor Fortini?
I'll withdraw.
You'll withdraw? Okay.
Easier.
Councillor Bowman, Medeiros, and Dillon, presuming you still wish to be a nominee, council could consider a motion to request the Seniors Council to increase its representation from members of council to 3.
Yeah, we'll go back on.
Okay. Yep.
So thank you for that accommodation, yep.
Yep. Yep. So we'll go to 4. Yep. Thank you. That'll be for Councillor Gibson. The last committee for appointment is the Brampton Sports Alliance, which requires 2 members of council plus the vice chair of Recreation and Culture, who is Councillor Dillon. So I believe this is now resolved, with Councillor Dillon being an appointee along with Councillor Bowman and Councillor Willens. The required complement is achieved. So, Mayor Jeffrey, there's one motion that is left for council to pass, which is just to confirm all these appointments, and in the minutes of this council meeting will be a table that will list all the appointments as we've just gone through. There'll also be a request to ask the Brampton Seniors Council to increase their membership for the 4 members.
And to reduce the number of people on the member services.
That's
to 4
correct.
members.
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor? All those opposed? That's carried. The bylaws? Okay. I don't have a mover and a seconder, do I? Need one? This is about the library? Is this the right one? Yes. Okay. Moved by Councilor Medeiros.
There are 3 bylaws before council. One to amend the procedure bylaw to implement the meeting rule changes that council's approved. The
Okay.
second is to amend the library
Board.
board composition. The third is to appoint an interim auditor general.
It's moved by Councilor Medeiros, seconded by Councilor Bowman. All those in favor? All those opposed? That's carried. And we're at the question period. So this is our question period. Any questions from the audience? Come on down. If you could state your name for the record, that would be...
I'm David Lang. Hi.
Welcome.
So I have two questions. One is related to the committee meeting schedule. There are some discrepancies in terms of the documentation that was provided to the public, particularly with regards to the Cycling Advisory Committee. On page 9, it indicates that the meetings are going to take place quarterly, but on page 38, it talks about meetings being the 3rd Thursday of each month. So, and then for the Environmental Advisory Committee, it talks on page 9 about meetings being 6 times per year. But on page 33, the meetings are mentioned as being quarterly. And then on page 35, again, it talks about the meetings being 6 times per year. So I'm wondering which one takes precedence?
So through you, Mayor Jeffrey, our apologies for the the inconvenience in terms of the discrepancies. The proposed new cycling committee would, based on our understanding, would probably meet monthly at the outset.
Okay.
Until it understands, because it's a brand-new committee in terms of the work it'll be doing. And then the committee can set its own schedule, whether it's monthly or quarterly, once they get going. And the same would go for the Brampton the Environmental Advisory Committee. I believe in the original terms of reference, it was suggesting 6 times per year.
That's correct.
Staff were suggesting 4 in terms of quarterly, but it can meet however often it needs to meet, and that once the committee is actually established with the composition, they can set their meeting schedule.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. The other question that I had then is, with regards to the supporting organizations for the Cycling Advisory Committee, I'm wondering if it's possible to add the School Traffic Safety Council onto that list as well.
Through you, Mayor Jeffrey, so council has already passed a resolution on the composition, but as has happened in past with other committees, as deemed appropriate, if the cycling committee makes that request through a motion, it'll come through council and that amendment can be made.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking for that is with regards to the Safe and Active Routes to Schools program. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, we're at the confirming bylaw. Moved by Councillor Dillon, second by Councillor Fleischer, the following bylaw before council at its special meeting of December 17th, 2014, be given the required number of readings, taken by the mayor and the city clerk, and the corporate seal affixed thereto to confirm the proceedings of the special council meeting held December 17th, 2014. All in favor? All opposed? That's carried. Before I get to the adjournment, I just wanted to say publicly 2 things. I think that there may not be many opportunities for me before the end of the year to indicate how much I appreciate the transition that has happened over the last few weeks for all of the new councillors and myself, to all of city staff, how grateful we are that you've helped this be as easy transition as it could be. Thank you very much. Also, we're making some changes to the mayor and council's levy, which will not be on New Year's Day. It will be after that, believe on the 10th. So for anybody who might have been planning their vacation around New Year's Day and coming to see us, we're going to let people enjoy time with their families on New Year's Day, so we'll be doing it after that. So the information will be coming out publicly about that. And on behalf of council, I want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Moved adjournment. It's moved by Councillor Dillon, seconded by Councillor Fortini, that this council do now adjourn to meet again on January 28th, 2015 at 1 p.m. or at the call of the mayor. Happy New Year.